Love it or hate it, School Days has left a mark on the anime community, with its twist ending and questionable plot, filled with characters who make decisions or become victims of said decisions, which are destructive to either themselves or others around them. So, do I think this was a masterpiece or a train wreck? Well, neither. Here's why. Produced by TNK and released in 2007 and adapted from a visual novel, School Days is set in a high school where the main character, Makoto Ito, develops a crush on his classmate Kotonoha Katsura. Both of them are too shy to even look at one another, let alone speak. Ito's friend, Sekai, excuse pronunciations, finds out about his little crush and decides to help him to ask Kotonoha out. During their first date, Kotonoha, being the shy and delicate type, struggles with Ito's brash personality and his inconsiderate side begins to show. Ito feels like the date was a success because he had a great time, whereas Kotonoha is worried Ito only wants to be with her because of her unrealistically large breasts, as all men she has known before have only been after her for her breasts. This makes Kotonoha very self-conscious about Ito's actions. As time goes on, Ito continuously oversteps boundaries Kotonoha is not comfortable with, and both Ito and Kotonoha relay their issues through Saki, who slowly tires of their trivial issues with each other, issues such as holding hands too early. Sekai also has a crush on Ito and begins to regret her decision to help Ito date Kotonoha. Ito again asks Sekai for help with his relationship. Sekai tells him she'll give him a crash course on relationships. Sekai offers herself up as practice for Ito's relationship with Kotonoha. Ito and Sekai slowly become more and more intimate with each other as a result of continuous practice. Ito, being a typical teenager, would prefer to be with a girl who can fulfill his desires rather than stay a Virgin Mary, which would be fine if he broke up with Kotonoha, but he doesn't. More and more of this goes on and Ito falls into a blanket of sexual fulfillment, sleeping with almost every girl he knows out of sexual frustration with Kotonoha, and becomes extremely cynical and greedy. Kotonoha struggles to cope when realizing how unfaithful Ito has become, which leads to arguably either the best or worst part of this show: the ending. I will not go into spoilers, however. I feel the ending the writers chose to adapt works in this show perfectly. It separates this show from a typical harem and explores a much darker take on the genre. This isn't the typical harem where the main character enters an ocean of women who want to get into his oblivious pants. This show demonstrates what would happen if he did, how it would affect the other characters, and the ending result of such reckless behaviour. School Days is not the best looking show, but it is far from the worst. The art and animation dips slightly below average, with very few moments which showcase more fluidity or higher detail. There is a dance sequence in the later half of the show which is very fluid, with a background which foreshadows future events. This kind of detail is using the artwork to tell the story rather than visually stunning detail. There are a lot of stills in this show, and moments where characters have something covering their mouth, so the animators do not have to synchronize their lips too often. The colour is somewhat washed out due to the themes, tone, and the story at play. This works to the show's advantage. School Days typically favours greys and whites with no deep blacks to emphasise this. The introduction song, Innocent Blue, is memorable and somewhat iconic within the anime community. The majority of the song is upbeat but later dips into a somber tone towards the end of the song, representing the pace and themes of the show. The show has a multitude of ending songs, some play more than once throughout the show, but they, just like Innocent Blue, are reflective of the show. The soundtrack is not memorable but always serves the scene, boosting the emotional response for both the characters and the viewer. This show does not have a dub. This may be troublesome for some of you, as I know some people refuse to watch a show unless it has been dubbed. However, shows that fall into this moe and harem-esque genre typically have bad dubs anyway, so I do not feel like it would make much of a difference concerning shows like this. School Days is a show which will leave you needing more as you watch it due to the horrible situations the main three characters end up pushing themselves into, and a holy bloody and screwed up ending which is as delightful as it is horrifying. School Days gets the certification of Stream. If you have seen School Days and want to watch something like it, then I would recommend watching Higurashi, which is a horror anime disguised as a sweet slice of life show, or Mirari Nikki, a battle royale to become God, where two main characters, Yuki and Yuno, join together to win. Yuno, however, is possessive of Yuki. Thank you for watching.